Good afternoon, Prescott. It's the KYCA PM show live with Pat Kuykendall here in the beautiful city of Prescott. And this is going to be a fun show. I've decided I've been a little riled up all afternoon, so we're going to have a little fun. So I'm going to start out by interviewing myself. So, Pat Kuykendall, tell us about the race today. Well, I joined five other cars over on Roberts Road, and we were headed towards Prescott westbound. And I just didn't. The old Chevy truck wasn't up to speed today, so we were doing the speed limit. And we were kind of side by side with these five cars going through. But then the plumbing truck got in front of us, and we were going in down the hill, past Walmart and coming into Prescott. And then the white Dodge truck cut us off, and he got into first place. And then we were back close to side by side, coming in down past the casino, and the red sports car took that lane instead of going right to the VA Center, cut in front of us, and beat us all. So that was my NASCAR story of the day. We took fourth place today coming in from Roberts Road, but we did the speed limit the whole way. And, it's amazing when you do the speed limit how everybody kind of ends up together when you get into town. Absolutely. So what do you think, Scott? Did I do good?
Yeah, you did real good. I agree with you. You go the speed limit and people look at you funny.
Oh, my goodness. They really do. And, I mean, it's just, it's interesting how many company signs are on vehicles. And sometimes the drivers don't represent their company probably as good as they should, and they drive kind of a little crazy out there. But you know what? I learned the easy way. Maybe I won't be doing business with that company because if they drive erratically, they might be erratic when I hire them to do something. So if you're out there and driving a company vehicle, remember there's a lot of people with their eyes on you at all times. So it's going to be a fun show, just like I said. We've got a special guest, but throughout the show, we're going to be talking about the 10 excuses not to use with police over Christmas. And I'll go ahead and start with number 1. I'm not speeding. I'm just trying to keep up with Santa's sleigh. And number 2, these fairy lights on my car are for visibility, not decoration. That's pretty good, so all the lights. So good. We got a great guest today, and we've got another guest coming in at halftime. We've got Clyde Mead with the MOAA, the Military Officers Association, and he also is a bigwig with the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Society. Welcome, Clyde.
Well, thank you, Pat, for having me here today.
And this is your first radio show ever.
Someone's got to do a first sometime.
It's my first time, too, so we'll both be nervous together. How about that?
Sounds good.
Tell us about your military career.
Well, I will say my military career started many years ago, right out of high school, 1971. Came up, draft was still going on. Got to lucky number 6 in the drawing. I can't get that close in lottery.
No.
So anyhow, decided at that time that I had, give back to my country a little bit. Uncle was in the Navy, so decided to kind of give the canoe club a shot.
So you were in the Navy.
I was.
Nice.
Started off as the enlisted side of house boot camp San Diego. Did my time there. After that, jumped on my first little ship, little destroyer out of actually Long Beach at the time, and then proceeded to, over the next few years, obviously did a few trips over there to Vietnam. Actually did 3 tours over there.
Thank you for your service and welcome home.
Yeah, thank you. So, but after that, bounced around a little bit through a few other things. Did my first bit with the Navy. Got out, went to school. Actually went to Glendale Community College for a little bit.
Using the GI Bill?
And decided at that time, got married to a very lovely gal, and decided at that time that needed a little other structure. Told her we were going to go back in for 2 years, and then we were going to go elsewhere. That 2 years turned into about 2001.
Wow, that's a good career.
Ended up doing 32 years total.
Wow.
half of it was on the enlisted side of the house, and as the enlisted would say, I went to the dark side.
You went to the dark side,
I
definitely.
went to the dark side,
right?
and retired as a naval officer in December of 2001.
That's awesome. And, you talked about joining the Navy there in San Diego and then moving up to Long Beach now. Were you rolling out of Naval Weapons Station Seal Beach, or did they have a Navy base over there in Long Beach?
They actually there was a Navy base there in Long Beach, and yes, I do remember Seal Beach. You mentioned San Diego was kind of interesting. Went to boot camp San Diego, came back many years later as a company commander to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I figured down the road, when I made it to the outside of the house, it'd be a perfect ending to my career to end up there as a XO department head or whatever in San Diego.
So you stayed mostly West Coast?
No. But the ironic thing, they closed San Diego, so it kind of blew my plans on that.
Okay, so they closed it. Was that still over on North Island?
San Diego, no, that was downtown.
Okay.
San Diego. So,
okay, the NOSC.
Yeah, wherever the boot camp was. So they consolidated everything from Orlando shut down, San Diego shut down, and they put everything over into Chicago. So that's where Great Lakes, Chicago is where boot camp is for Navy now.
Wow, and you look at the Marines down there at MCRD, right next to the San Diego International Airport, and that's just got to be going through boot camp there, watching all those Freedom Birds take off every day, and you're out there pumping push-ups and everything else on the Marine side. So you were trained in downtown San Diego?
Yeah, I was at the boot camp down right off Rosecrans Street.
Okay.
Down there, so.
Wow. And so tell us about what you did when you were enlisted and then when you converted over to the dark side.
Well, on the enlisted, obviously I started off as a deck seaman out there scraping paint, swabbing decks, just like any typical, sailor at the time. And, it was kind of ironic at the time. I seen, sailors on there that had been in the Navy, 3, 4, 5, 6 years and basically doing the same job. And I just couldn't see myself doing that. And I figured there was something more. And so it's just kind of the old adage, brass ring to grab onto or step up the ladder, might as well take it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of progressed up that way. And especially when I came back in, it was like, if I'm going to do this, I might as well, go
Get
full
paid
bore.
for it, sure.
And
now, did you use the GI Bill when you went to Glendale?
I did.
Nice.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I think we lose the misconception of, being able to use the veterans benefits or the military, the GI Bill, the post 9/11 GI Bill, the yellow ribbon. How instrumental was that, for you to join the Navy and know that you're going to have those educational benefits?
Well, I'll be honest, when I joined, those idea of those benefits was not on the forefront of my, conversation. Obviously, that came in afterwards when I got after my first 4 years. But it was, nice to know that it was there. Did I make some mistakes on the way going in that direction? Absolutely. And it's kind of nice because I could, down the road in my further career, I could pass on to those that worked for me at the time things to do, not do, as far as with their career choices coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the things I used to talk to my the young sailors that were coming up on the end of their term, hey, if you're thinking about getting out, this is what you might want to consider. I never really tried to talk anyone to say, hey, you really want to stay in? But it was like weigh the pros and cons. And if you're going to go get out, these are some different options to do. And one, make sure you take care of the things that you need to take care of, the VA benefits that are there, make sure you're aware of those and utilize them. You earned them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think that's the problem we run into. I waited from when I retired to really use the VA because, the misconception again is, there's always people out there that need it more than you. And I think we're always going to run into that with veterans, somebody that is an amputee, somebody that has some real serious medical. But when you deep dive the VA, there's money allocated for every veteran. You're not taking away because you take services, because you get help at the VA because you get a disability rating, you're not taking away from somebody else. The money is already allocated.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So when you were an officer, what was your job structures there?
I ended up being a service warfare officer. Started off, and obviously the designator I came, that I was assigned, put me on the deck side of the house. So for the most part, it was either on amphibious ship as a first lieutenant, or as a auxiliary ship, i.e., your ammo oiler supply ships, as a first lieutenant, doing that, taking care of making sure that things got to where they got to go in a safe manner, so to speak. So.
And then what rank did you retire as?
Lieutenant Commander, 04.
Okay, nice. What a great career.
It was, and people will say that, it's a long career. It was, and I will say part of it, at least on my point, being in the military for some, and I'll say it's for me, it was more of not a job, but it was more of a calling. My wife would say when I came up for my retirement time that if I could have stayed longer, would I have? And she would answer that question, absolutely.
Sure.
There's, yes, family separation, yes, like that sucks. There's no doubt on that. I was very fortunate to have a very strong family structure. Wife and my kids were very supportive throughout my Navy career. So then that helps. That helps very much.
Because you're probably gone all the time.
Yeah, a lot more than I like to sometimes.
There you go. Hey, we're going to take our first break. The phone lines are open, 928-541-1016, and we'll be right back with the KYCA PM show. And we're back. The phone lines are open, 928-541-1016. And we've got Clyde Mead, a 30-plus year Navy veteran, now living in Prescott, Arizona, giving back to the veteran community with his time and efforts. Now, Clyde, you said you retired. Now, when did you move to Prescott? Because we didn't have any ships here. We're not a Navy port.
No, not very much water either.
No.
I'm an Arizona quasi-native. We moved to Arizona back when I was like knee-high to a grasshopper type thing.
From where?
Illinois, believe it or
really?
not. Yeah, Champaign-Urbana. I was born back there.
Okay.
But our family moved back to Arizona when I was, like 3 years old or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so I almost got to consider myself an Arizona native. Grew up down in the Phoenix Valley area. Prescott was a place we used to come to at a time we're coming up a high school, out of town, Slide Rock,
right.
Sedona before they changed everything up there. And this was kind of a go-to place. So after bouncing around for 30 some odd years, I'll be honest, the reason we came back to Arizona, and I'm sorry for the rest of the people in Arizona, I'm not crazy about the heat down in Phoenix, sorry. But at the same time, I still had family members. My mom lived down there, my wife's family down there, brothers, sisters, etc. Hey, we're going to come back. We're in a position if my family needs help, her family needs help, we're there close
You're
by.
close by, right?
But close by, but close enough, but not to be a nuisance, so to speak. And Prescott seemed to be the ideal location.
Exactly. Well, and we've got the best VA center in the country.
Oh,
There's
it
just
is,
so much
absolutely.
for veterans here. We're an 18+% population of veterans, so it's good to keep the military in your blood. So, tell us a little bit about MOAA.
Military Officers Association of America. It's been around since 1929, believe it or not. It was formed up many years ago by a few officers that wanted to kind of take care of their group and everything. And it was called TROA back then, but it evolved into a much larger organization. And the nice thing about it is when people say, "Oh, the military, we're just for the officers," and that's really far from the truth. We are a group that takes care of all veterans, regardless of rank, and all branches. We are one of 9 chapters in the state of Arizona, multiple chapters over there. We are probably nationwide, probably the largest and most successful lobbying groups in Congress for veterans benefits. In fact, we were very strong, if you remember years ago, that Arizona still used to tax the veterans' retirement income.
Mm-hmm.
Well, through a lot of the resources, and I'm not saying we were the only one, but through a lot of our advocacy with a lot of our individuals, we were part of helping to change that attitude in the state of Arizona with the legislators to where we are now a zero tax on retirement incomes.
Wow, that's amazing, and that's a big thing, And
Yeah.
I think when veterans retire or military people retire, they look for, hey, where can I get the best VA? Where can I get this? Where can I get the
Yeah.
lowest taxes? Where can
Yeah.
what states are willing to go above and beyond to ask me as a veteran to move to that state?
Yeah, and, a lot of the things I'll talk about locally. What we do as a chapter, we're not a really big chapter. We're sitting around about 45 members, but a lot of things that we get involved in here, very heavily involved with the U.S. vets over in Prescott, as you well know.
Sure.
Do a lot with their stand down, assisting with their clothing drives, support all year round. Whatever they need, and for that. We also help out with the ROTC units over at Embry-Riddle
Mm-hmm.
with their scholarship funds. We provide on that. And some of the different things we do, we actually helped out with the Air Force ROTC this last year, helped sponsor a group of theirs that went back to New Mexico, for the Memorial Baton Death March.
Oh, the bed, yeah.
Yeah, so we helped sponsor a group going back for that.
Cool. I saw them there. This will be my 20th year, but I remember last year they were there.
Yeah, we did that, and a couple years ago we did the Army group.
Sure.
And of course, the 2 high schools. You got Prescott High School, and you got Bradshaw Mountain High School.
Right.
That we help with their scholarships. And again, it's whatever works out. We can do to help them, and we try to get involved as much in the organization and the community as possible. Veteran calls us, needs help. If we can't do it, we are able to refer them to somebody that can.
Exactly.
So,
or you're working with a good friend of mine, Darren Venters, out of Tucson.
Oh, absolutely.
Darren
absolutely.
and I have done a lot of stuff together and known each other for a long time, and he used to live here. So, the Military Officers Association, and you said it's open not only to officers.
Well, as a chapter, it's only membership is officers only.
Okay.
But as I say, we don't do things just for officers. We do things for all veterans. We support all veterans. Obviously, we're a nonprofit. We kind of it just that whatever we do, it's all veterans, no matter what. So.
Sure. That's a great thing. Again, veterans helping veterans, and scholarships are so important.
Yeah.
These the scholarships are going to help, ROTCs and those folks get into college or help them along the way to be officers.
Right.
But because a lot of them don't have the GI Bill yet because they haven't served, although we're probably seeing a lot more that have served and just like you, getting out, going back to school, and then going back in.
Yeah. And we do a lot of, as far as, coordinating with a lot of the other different organizations, the Marine Corps League, for one, which is very strong and big up here in the Prescott area, the VFW, American Legion, different groups up there. Any time we can coordinate and work together, or we can back and forth, absolutely, we're on board with that.
Sure. So volunteering is kind of in your blood.
It's I wouldn't say volunteering. It's a part of the military career was good for me. You can say yes, bad, indifferent, good and bad with like any other career. But I look at it as a point of giving back.
Mm-hmm.
And not so much volunteer, it's just being able to give back something to an individual, maybe a young person coming up, thinking about it. Hope Fest here a while back, we had our little setup there. I had a young kid come up. He wasn't in the military, but he goes, I'm interested in what it's all about. And I was able to tell him, okay, if you're thinking about going into the military, these are things you need to consider and think about. Well, I'm thinking about being an officer. Well, these are things you need to, work on to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice to be able to have that conversation with an individual, to kind of be able to share with him, hey, if this is your path you chose, hey, there are people out there that are more than happy to assist you along the way.
And that's the great thing about it, Clyde, is, I deal with workforce, and just a lot of people have not been blessed to really understand it. They've come from broken homes. They don't know, they know about it, but they don't have the vision. And you've got that mentorship to be able to sit down with them and say, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to be positive and move forward.
Absolutely.
So is it time for a break? What do we got? 43 seconds. So good. Then I can do 3 more of the 10 excuses not to use with police over Christmas. So I thought the eggnog was alcohol free. Turns out it wasn't. Definitely a fact. I'm in a rush. The turkey's still in the oven. Good one. I'm testing my reindeer's top speed. I mean my car's. Those are pretty good excuses not to use with the police department. So we want to thank everybody for listening to the KYCA PM show. We'll be right back. The phone lines are open at 928-541-1016. And we're back with Clyde Mead on the KYCA PM show. And, you know, we were just talking about MOA, the Military Officers Association, but you're also very active in the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Society, which is a unique and prestigious organization. The path to membership is induction into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame. The society was formed in 2007 to foster a bond of friendship among those inducted and to enhance services to Arizona veterans. In 2008, the society was incorporated as a nonprofit veteran service organization. So tell us about the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Society.
Well, the first thing I will tell you about the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame Society, it's a very humbling experience to go through. I was selected in the class of 2020. So every year they have a selection that goes through on that. And people like, and I'll be honest, I've talked to other individuals about becoming members and what it requires. And it's surprising a lot of them say, well, I'm not worthy of it. And, the thing is, coming from an individual, that's actually a good thing, because as a veteran, no, we're not looking for pats on the back. No, there's not a single veteran I know that I've met that sits out there and goes, I need to be patted on the back. But on this other side, it's nice to be recognized. There's approximately in the state of Arizona, and we're one of only, I think, it's either 2 or 3 states that actually recognizes veterans in this way. We have about 400 of them living members in the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame in the state of Arizona. We go through selection process every year, and the veteran himself, they do not submit it. It's actually submitted by someone else who feels that that person is worthy of it, and a package is sent up. It goes through the selection process, at which time it's signed off by the governor, and then things go from there.
Mm-hmm. So the Veterans Hall of Fame, so it's very prestigious. It was started in 2007, and you guys were really activated in 2008 with the 501c3. So you've got a lot of members so far, or that have been inducted.
Yeah, we got 400, and we're very active for the most part. And they're home based down in Phoenix area and in the Maricopa County. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of been working to try to put a little bit of life up here, exposure for our veterans up here in the Quad City area. We have actually, in our area itself, we have actually 8 members of the Hall of Fame that are up here in our area right now. And the thing is, it's not so much just being recognized. We do a lot of things that we're involved in. Scholarships, for one. We do things with the veterans' homes, the one in Yuma, the one in Phoenix, the one in
the new one up in Flagstaff, right?
Absolutely, support there. Veterans Court, very involved with that. Also involved with the other different things in giving back to different things too. And the other thing we do too is not so much just on the veterans, but we also recognize other individuals who are not veterans. We also, and companies and organizations through what they call their Copper Awards. In fact, the recent awardees are going to be put out here, or should have been put out already. But this recognizes organizations, businesses, and individuals that go above and beyond for veterans and veterans support in the community. And again, they're recognized by an individual who submits them for those type of awards.
Now, is that the Copper Sword?
Copper Sword, Copper Shield, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, a lot of people, it's great. Veterans are very humble about getting awards. But, sometimes we forget about the family, or sometimes we forget about the support mechanism. Mm-hmm. Coming from the National Guard side after active duty and a couple callbacks, the employer, how important is that employer for a Guard or reservist?
Oh, absolutely.
Everything, it's like a big fraternity, whether you're a supporter or you served or you're a family member, and that only less than 1% have ever served and, part of the sorority.
Oh, and it is, it just is. And I'll give a shout out to the Marine Corps, and I think their Spirit of Corps is above and beyond any branch I've ever seen. And I look back at, as I said earlier, a company commander in San Diego pushing those boots through. My son's a retired Marine. We went to, my wife and I went to his graduation way back when in San Diego. And it was interesting going through their graduation is they have a group of Marines that sit at the end of the bleachers. So as these new Marines come around the parade ground, that's the first group that they see are these retired, or I know the Marines will say no such thing as a former Marine, but the group of Marines sitting right there in those bleachers, standing up and saluting them with the idea, welcome to our fraternity. And that's, the old saying is, once a Marine, always a Marine. Very much so.
There you go. Well, we're going to take another break, and we'll come back and finish up with Clyde. KYCA PM show, 928-541-1016. Give us a call. And we're back with the KYCA PM show, and we're going to continue our 10 excuses not to use with police over Christmas. So, number 6, I'm delivering presents for Santa because he's on strike. Probably not a good excuse. And number 7, I thought the stop sign was just a Christmas decoration. Not very good. So, okay, Clyde. So if somebody wants to meet with you about MOAA or the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, easiest thing to do is obviously is our website if you are a military officer, whether you're retired or former, easiest thing to do is just go on to our website, which is nacmoaa.org. It'll go through the process of how to get involved, how to get contact, and etc. In that regards. As far as the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame, again, they have their website, which is the avhov.org, the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame.org. Kind of goes to different things as far as what they're involved with and what they're all about.
Well, we appreciate it. We're going to bring you back on the show, and we have a guest that I've been trying to get on here for months and months and months. We've got Scotty Scott from Yavapai College YPAC. Hey, Scotty.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. And we're going to bring you back, too, many times. But tell us what's going on. I know we've been trying to do this so you could promote the Christmas and your schedule. You're busy scheduling new events coming into the YPAC. So what's going on?
Well, I'm Scotty. I'm with the Jim and Linda Lee Performing Arts Center. I am the artistic director, and we opened up our December season. We always make Christmas very big at the Jim and Linda Lee Performing Arts Center. So we opened up with Nutcracker from Victoria Ballet. If you saw our Dracula Ballet, that's by the same company. And then last weekend, we had our sold-out show with Prescott's own Prescott Pops. They're always a hometown favorite. And we're going to be wrapping it up with The Modern Gentleman. We're doing that Thursday night. And those are the gentlemen that have sang with Frankie Valli. They were as backup singers. They also were in the Four Seasons musical. So they got along well together so well, so they decided to create kind of their own band.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're really, really excellent. Easy on the eyes, too, if I may say so myself.
Uh-oh, here she goes. Here she goes.
But we have plenty of tickets that's still available for that. We're also doing a pre-show dinner as well. So that's what we got going on, and that's what we're wrapping up our December with. And then when we come back in January, we have Frankie Avalon himself.
The real Frankie Avalon?
Real Frankie,
not a tribute?
No, it's not a tribute.
Wow.
It's not like a Tupac hologram. Mr. Beach Blanket Bingo himself is going to be here, which is very exciting. And we are also going to be doing a pre-show dinner with that as well. It's going to be a bit beach themed. So we're kind of doing a little beach in Prescott in January
Now,
where it's cold.
You're not going to be like Matt's down there and hauling a bunch of sand into Whiskey
No.
Row, are you? Okay,
Gosh.
good. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think facilities at the school would ever forgive me for that one.
Probably not.
No, but we're going to have some fun cutouts in our upstairs dining area. We're going to do beach themed in there. So sans the sound. We're not going to have the sound.
Now, is that just one show, or is he going to do two?
Nope, he's just going to do one show for
Nice.
us. So that's excellent. And then at the end of the month in January, we're having Howie Mandel, fun comedian that we've all grown up with.
Sure.
I remember him from his days in St. Elmo. No, not St. Elmo's, but St. Elsewhere, that medical drama that was on NBC. Oh,
I might be too young.
Oh, really? You might be too young?
I might be
Okay.
too young for that one.
No, I remember my grandma always had a little crush on him. So we have him, and of course, he's also on America's Got Talent. He's one of the judges. And then for Valentine's Day, we're doing something very, very special. So we have International Guitar Night. So we're having guitar players from all over the world that are going to be playing. If you guys remember Luca Straganoli from last year, he did a wonderful cabaret for us, but he was part of the original group. So you're going to see guitarists from all over the world. And we're doing a pre-show dinner because this is Valentine's Day. So this
Okay.
is a great, affordable, fun Valentine's Day gift to do. So gentlemen, if you haven't gotten your Valentine's Day gift yet, you know, it's coming quick. So keep this in mind. So we have a pre-show dinner with that. Then we have the concert, and then we're doing a post-show event as well.
Man, food and music.
I know.
What
it's
is better
better
in life? There is nothing better
Seriously.
than food and music.
It's great.
So how do you, Scotty, let's just go deep. And again, we're going to keep bringing you back for more, but how do you pick the talent? I mean, I'm sure, it's just like people that move here. Hey, let's pick Prescott because we want to live there. I'm sure there's a lot of talent that looks at Prescott and says, hey, we want to come and perform
Oh, yeah.
there.
Very much. So it's a couple different ways. You start to become very close. I started going to the conferences with the former artistic director, and he kind of had been grooming me to be his successor. So you go to the different conferences. In January, I'm going to go to APAP, which is in New York, where you meet with different agents. A lot of times they will showcase some of their talent, which is not super well known yet, but they think is going to hit pretty big. So you can kind of get them at the ground level. So you do that. Also, we have very close relationships with the other presenting houses in Arizona. I am on the board of the Arizona Presenters Alliance. So we work with Chandler a lot. We like to work with Tucson. We try and do a block booking, which is an industry term. So that's how you kind of figure out who these people are. And of course, a lot of times too, patrons will sometimes come up to me and say, "Hey, could we ever bring in so and so?" I'm like, "Oh man, haven't thought about that. Yeah, let's take a look." So a lot of times I will cold call agents as well. And just, I mean, this industry, you can't be shy.
Sure.
You've just got to go in and kind of be like, "Hey, this is who I am. This is my venue. I'd really love to bring your talent in. Can we make this work? How do we move this relationship to the next level, basically?"
Sure, and you know the great thing about Prescott is you got the YPAC, the Jim Lee, but then you've also got the Finley Center,
Yep.
and you know it's really two different.
Very
You know,
much.
you're not comparing apple and oranges.
Nope. And Shane's a great guy. He and I work together.
Sure,
He's an awesome guy.
but I don't think ZZ Top at the YPAC would have been probably watching those guys for a few hours would have been. You know, they like arenas.
Yes.
There's some people that like arenas, and some people like it a little more.
Exactly.
You know, close.
exactly. Well, unless they wanted to do like maybe a symphonic version. I mean, I would love to hear She's Got Legs in a whole orchestra. I think that'd be awesome. So if they ever want to do that, then we are completely the venue for them.
You know, they didn't move around much on stage. I mean, they're up there in age. They weren't dancing like they used to.
Yeah.
But
back in the
you've had
80s.
yeah, you've had a lot of big names here.
We've had last year we had Dionne Warwick, who is truly a diva. I know that word gets thrown around quite a lot, but that's who she is, which was amazing to get to meet her. Melissa Etheridge, somebody who I grew up listening to in the '90s. Josh Turner, we always try and bring him back. He's a great crowd favorite. He's super easy and kind to work with. Very easy person. So yeah, we've had our serious talent. Last year we also had Lyle Lovett as well.
Wow, that's those are big names for Prescott. I mean they're big, but you sell it out.
Exactly.
You get people of all ages. I mean, you just can't beat the YPAC. I mean, what a
No.
great facility for parking and being able to get into and acoustics and comfort. That's what I look at. If it doesn't have legroom, I'm not going.
Exactly. 100%.
You got to have legroom.
And there's really no bad seat in the house. I mean, obviously some seats are going to be better than others, but we really pride ourselves on having excellent seats.
And the meals beforehand. If you haven't done that, a dinner and a concert, it's phenomenal. I mean,
Nothing
first
better.
class. There is nothing better.
Exactly.
So and you're talking to a couple military guys here. A little Air Force birdie said you might have an Air Force band coming in someday
as
too.
a matter of fact, why I'm a little bit late was because I just got off the phone with the USAF, which being an air brat myself, that really excites me. So yes, it is the U.S. Air Force's jazz band, and they are going to be coming here Saturday, February 7th at 3 p.m. They are doing a complimentary concert, so hey, what's better than that?
Right.
We will be having those tickets on sale. Now, yes, I say complimentary. Do you still need to get tickets? Yes, they are free, so you need to basically reserve your spot. We do have a limit of 5 per person.
Okay.
So
Cool.
we will have that up pretty soon on our website.
We're going to take a break on the KYCA PM show. The phone lines are open, 928-541-1016, and we'll be right back with our last segment. And we're back with the KYCA PM show, and I'm still doing my top 10 excuses not to use with police over Christmas. Number 8, I'm practicing for the North Pole Grand Prix. Sounds pretty good. Number 9, I had to swerve. There was a gingerbread man crossing the road. That's a good one, and we'll do number 10 when we close out the show. So we're with Scotty with Yavapai, YPAC. So let's put Scotty on the spot. Clyde, you got any questions for her?
Tick-tock,
Nah, he's
tick-tock.
thinking. Okay. Favorite group you've ever met?
Oh my goodness. Favorite group I've ever met or favorite group I've ever seen?
Met at YPAC.
Okay,
Let's
met,
really
all right.
what's your favorite group and
Oh,
all the
gosh.
performances you've put? What has been your favorite?
I would have to say probably salt of the earth, coolest people was when we had Colin and Brad from Whose Line Is It Anyway a few years ago.
Really?
They were just the most awesome guys. They really were. One is Canadian and my husband's Canadian, so I tried to get ketchup chips, which is something, if there's any Canadians out there listening, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about ketchup chips. So when he came in, he went to the crafts table and he's like, who got these? Who got these? I'm like, that was me. My husband's Canadian. I get it. He's from Toronto. Super nice, very easy to work with, of course. Funny as can be. What I so appreciated too, though, was at the end of the show, they thanked the audience. It was a sellout show. They specifically thanked the members of my staff too.
Wow.
And they called them by names. So, because with what they were doing with improv, there was a lot of Q Lab that they had to do with my audio engineer. So they completely called out my audio engineer, let her know how awesome she was. And at the end of the show, when they were packing up and the audience left, they made it a point to go out and meet every single staff member and shake their hands. Now, that included front of the staff as well. So,
That's just amazing. And it's, the lifestyle, and I have no idea, performers, the lifestyle, but for them to do that, they didn't just do it in Prescott, Arizona. They probably do that everywhere they go.
oh yeah. And like I said, just very easy to work with. And the fact that they took that time, because they didn't have to. And it wasn't just, okay, well, I'm specifically working with back of the house crew, which tends to be they don't really know who the front of the house is, which is fine. I mean, that's just kind of the way venues are. But the fact they said, no, we want to come out to the lobby. We want to meet your ticket staff too. So they shook hands with our ushers. They shook hands with our house managers, with the ticketing crew. I mean, that was one of the classiest things I think I'd ever seen.
That's what it's all about. I haven't been to as many concerts definitely as you, but Tony Orlando, when he came out, being with the fans, being with the people that have paid money, and
Especially the vets.
exactly, that was big. And there's just so many groups, and when you put on a performance, what is your hardest performance to put on? It's probably not a concert. It's probably something. A play would be your hardest.
Yeah, those can be. And I just got done doing one not too long ago.
Yep.
So did Sense and Sensibility in November.
Was that a tough one?
It was. I mean, it was a complete labor of love. I'd been working on it for a year. And it also was the first time that the Performing Arts Department did not do a musical. So kind of had my work cut out for me.
Okay. Any last remarks?
Nope. Hope to see you guys soon.
Yes, we're going to bring you back for sure. And Clyde, we're going to bring you back also.
Sounds like a great idea, and we need to close off, at least if you're going to say Merry Christmas, I'm on board.
Merry Christmas. I'm on board. But I'm not done yet. I still got number 10 for
Yeah, we got to hear number
for
10.
it. So number 10 on an excuse to not tell the police officers is I'm late for midnight mass in another state. Thanks for listening to the KYCA PM show, and have a great evening.